दृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये सात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः 38th verse देहि नित्यमवध्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. So, O Bharata, O who is born in the Bharat Kulam, one who is born in the clans of King Bharata, purposely Bhagavan is saying, addressing with this name to Arjuna. So Arjuna, well, I am Atma. This Atma is Dehi, is indweller of the bodies, because Sarvasya Dehe, I am Atma Dehi. So this Atma, which is the indweller of the bodies of all the beings, is ever indestructible. Because it has been told here, Nityam Avadhyaha. Avadhyaha means, Vadaha means destruction. Vadhyaha, fit for destruction, destructible. Avadhyaha, indestructible. Nityam, ever. So, this Atma, which is the indweller of all the bodies, is ever indestructible. And so you ought not to grieve, or you should not grieve for all these people. That's what has been told. Anyway, so we are saying, just imagine that Bhishma or Drona, who is in the front, standing, and Bhagavan is telling to Arjuna regarding this. Now, because he is grieving for the imminent death of Bhishma and Drona, so now Bhagavan is telling you, analyze in this Bhishma, a person, what is destructible, what is indestructible. And after analysis, you will find that there is no cause. There is no cause for you to grieve. So first thing is this gross body of Bhishma or Drona. Well, definitely it is going to get destroyed. Definitely. Because it is Vadayogya, Vadhya. It is destructive, it undergoes a destruction. Well, even through this weapons, etc., And therefore, that is correct. That it is a subject to death, it is subject to destruction. But Bhagavan says that is the reality. Even if, suppose if you won't kill them, if their bodies, physical bodies will not die here in the battlefield, don't think they are going to be there forever. If this nimitta will not be there of this war, etc., for some other nimitta will be there, because the prarabdha is going to be over. And by some other reason, this physical body is going to die. It is destructible. It is vadhyaha. And therefore, Arjuna, you are a very intelligent person. And this is a fact that what is subject to death, what is subject to destruction, will die, will get destroyed by any way. And therefore, looking at this fact, the people who are really intelligent, they assimilate the facts. And therefore, just by physical body, if you consider physical body, well, then physical body will definitely die, even if this is not the cause. Therefore, you should not grieve, because that's a fact. Then the second thing is, now what is inside the body? Inside the body is subtle body, causal body, etc. Causal body also never dies. Well, that is the last thing I will tell. But let's say subtle body. And then subtle body, and definitely with subtle body is there, and definitely subtle body is conscious. Let us say the mind is conscious, senses are conscious, and therefore let's say the conscious subtle body, right? We call it as and the part of the subtle body is I thought, right? It's a part of ahankara, part of antakaranam only. And so let us call this ahankara, which is inside the body. So ahankara is equal to subtle body, you can call, or you can say jiva, you can call indweller of the body right now. Well, that is, what about that? Suppose if you shoot an arrow to them, will that jiva, Bhishma as a jiva, Drona as a jiva, are they going to die or not? Bhagavan says they are not going to die. The I, the ahankara itself, well, is not available for destruction through weapons. I is one who is not available for getting burned through the fire. This ahankara is not available cannot be destroyed by, merging into the, by putting them into the water, it will not drown also. And therefore the I is never available for destruction through any element. Of course, Akasha we should not talk, but any other. It cannot be dried also through the air, etc. And so I is not available for vadaha. I, that ahankara, which is the indweller of the body, and that is not available for destruction. Only gross body is available for destruction. Now, before I go into the subtle body or ahankara, let me tell you something about this also. Even though we call that this is available for destruction, frankly speaking, it is also not. Only thing is, we have already discussed this thing, nasha adarshane, nasha, destruction. Panini Maharaj has told nasha adarshane means to destroy means what? This form will not be available for seeing further, for transaction further. That's all. This form is available for transaction with the world. The destruction of this form is nothing but this form will not be available for any kind of a transaction, for seeing, for smelling, for tasting, or for any purpose, for any kind of relationship. This form will not be available. So then what happens to that form? Well, this form goes. Some other form comes, which is available for transaction. So if you cut this body, well, it is still available for transaction, means for seeing, etc. And for other transaction. We don't want to go into that, cutting the body, etc. But then, suppose if somebody burns this body, then still this form will not be there, some other form will be there, ashes will be there. And ashes is available for transaction, because the word in the dictionary, there is a word called ashes, means Somebody has seen it, somebody has touched it, whatever it may be. So we can talk about the properties of ashes, means it is available for human transaction. And therefore, definitely the destruction of the physical body, or let us say any physical form. Right now we are talking about the bodies because Bhishma and Drona, they are there in the picture. So basically the physical body is one. Well, when they get destroyed by any element, either by earth, means either by weapons, or by gets drowned in water, or get burned, or get dried up by the strong winds, etc., whatever. So these elements can destroy the physical body, and they will destroy. Why not? Because basically it is made up of the elements only, and so elements can affect it. The elemental body is affected by the elements. The transaction takes place between two objects of the same reality, and therefore definitely this gets converted into some another form, that is called destruction. This form is not available for transaction. So far as Bhishma and Drona is concerned, they will not be available as Bhishma and Drona later. Because for Arjuna, they are someone is a guru, or someone is a, very revered in life, and so they are not available in that form, and because the body has died and has converted into another form. So yesterday I told you, if this body is available for destruction, called Vadaha. Bhagavan has used here word Avadyaha. Vadaha means a physical destruction through anything, through elements. Well, then there will be always a residue. I told you like that yesterday, and that residue is another form. That's all it is. And if you destroy, then some another form, then some another form, then some another form, then some another form. Ultimately, there is no form. Then Swamiji, no form. Energy form. Some name and form continues. Some name and form will definitely be there. And just a minute. So, physical body is called Vadyaha, fit for destruction. But the destruction is of this type. Then, inside what is there? Dehaha Vadyaha. Now, indweller of the body, subtle body, or conscious subtle body, ahankara, whatever you say. Well, that is not available for physical destruction. They are not Vadyaha. Then, this ahankara will be there forever. So, ahankara is Atma, because you said Atma is one which is never undergo any destruction. Well, then the ahankara also is like that. No, ahankara also can be destroyed, and it should be destroyed ultimately. Well, then ahankara, if it is not available for physical destruction, the indweller of the body called ahankara is not available, or ahankara means jiva, that is called ahankara here. A limited conscious, and we call it as a conscious entity, the individual, who is limited all the way. Well, because of, why it is limited? Because of the subtle body. Otherwise it is not limited. Conscious being is consciousness, but consciousness appears as a conscious being or ahankara because of the identification with the subtle body. Why identification with the subtle body should take place? Who has done the mixture of these two? Nobody has done a mixture other than the ignorance has done it. I mean, so in your perception there is a mixture. That's all it is. In your perception you are subtle body. That's all it is. There is nothing else. But you are telling that it is the consciousness gets reflected, and then you take the reflection. That is the way we explain. What can we do? What can we do? We have to take help, because we are going to tell subtle body is inert. Then how can it becomes a conscious entity? Well, then I have to give you some prakriya by which you take consciousness and this subtle body which is inert cannot be mixed together because they are not of the same reality. Some kind of a transaction called mixing also takes place between the objects of the same order of reality. And therefore the subtle body is inert, not only inert, that is a product of Maya. Well, And if it is a product of Maya, it is Mayikam. And that Mayikam, we call it as a Mithya. They are simply an appearance, like the sunrise, etc. And therefore, just is an appearance. It is not a reality. And therefore, the subtle body and the consciousness cannot be mixed. And therefore, if of being of same different orders of reality, then still why it looks conscious? Ahankara is conscious, even though Ahankara is a part of the subtle body. I thought, that's Ahankara. But I thought doesn't appear as inert. I thought appears as a conscious. That's how even you are saying I am Jiva. That itself proves that you are a conscious entity. And therefore, this is purely born of ignorance, self-ignorance. That I am this, I am Ahankara, etc. I am Jiva, etc. And I am Alpagnya, Alpashaktiman, everything you have to consider in that. So this is all a product of ignorance. There is nothing called mixing. Nothing mixing. And that's how some of the acharyas don't go to any prakriya. They say because of self-ignorance, you take yourself as a subtle body. You identify with the subtle body. So there is identification, means a notion of an identification. Please understand that. The identification is a process. It's a physical process. Like the process, through the process, a fire and a iron ball, like they mix together. And they can mix. Why not? The two become one. They will become one. They will become one. And you see them as one also. Why? Why? Because there is a real identification. Why? Because they are both order of the same order. Both objects belong to the same order of reality. And therefore there is an identification. And when they are of different orders of reality, well, then there is a notion of identification. There cannot be identification at all. And therefore you, just because of self-ignorance, and there is a self-consciousness, what is in front of you, what is non-separate from you, you take it as yourself. Which is very close, being non-separate, it is too close to the consciousness. So you put a claim. You take the subtle body as yourself. That is called ahankara. That's all. That's all. And well, then you suffer the limitations because subtle body is limited. So you feel that you are inside the body. Even though you are all pervading, you feel that you are inside the body. And there are many other things. Well, but then it comes up to this. Ahankara comes up to this, very well, up to the dermis. So, but we are talking about Dehi right now. So I have already removed this part and we have discussed also separately about the physical body. Separately means here right now in the beginning of the lecture I have described it. What happens to this? Anyway, so Dehi, even though is not available for destruction, Deha available for destruction, Deha Vadyaha, Dehi Avadyaha. But Dehi, even though it is Avadyaha, indestructible, but still it is Badyaha. It is available for destruction. What are you saying? You don't have any sense. Right now you said Dehi Avadyaha means Dehi is not available for destruction. And now you are saying Dehi available for destruction? Yes, I only told this. So you are also like Bhagavad. Bhagavad also talks contradictory and you also talk contradictory. What can I do? Yes, it can be destroyed. But that destruction is not a physical destruction. Because cannot be destroyed. What can we do? Then still we want to destroy because I am not ahankara. That's just a notion. I am the physical body is a notion. Because the very I thought does not belong to the Atma. Atma does not have I-ness at all. The very I thought brings a limitation. And therefore it belongs to the subtle body. And therefore, 1 minute. It belongs to the subtle body. This is please understand very carefully. This part that how I am a Sakshi, this I am going to talk about this. This is the last verse for me to talk about Atma. Then from tomorrow there is another topic starts. I have told you already the Atma's discussion in the chapter 2. The Sankhya Yoga is basically between verse 11 to 30 or verse 12 to 30. Then this is the last verse. Anyway, so Dehi, Deha Vadyaha, Dehi Avadyaha, but Dehi Badyaha. Vadyah. Please understand this word Dehi, indweller of the body, even Bhagavan has used in terms of Satchidananda Atma also, and that is correct also. But right now, Dehi we are taking in terms of Jiva, because that is also indweller of the body. That is also indweller of the body. Why he has to be in the body? Well, because this physical body is his earning, and therefore he has to, and he has built a house from his earning. So then let him enjoy being inside, and so let him be inside. So Ahankara also, I told you yesterday, Ahankara also is the owner of this house, and Bhagavan also is the owner of the house, because Bhagavan have this all the 5 elements and everything, and it is all belong to Bhagavan, or Bhagavan's Maya, let's say. What is the meaning of Bhagavan? Wait a minute, Swamiji, wait a minute. Bhagavan means you want Brahman, you say Brahman, or you say Ishvara. I say Ishvara. Okay? And therefore, but yesterday you said Brahman. Yeah, Brahman also. And then Ishvara? Yeah, Ishvara also. Ultimately, Ishvara also is like Jiva. You know very well. Through Maya only he creates everything, and he is therefore owner. But ultimately everything belongs to, either you say Brahman from one standpoint, or it belongs to Ishvara, you say from another standpoint. There is not a big difference, because through Maya only creates, and Maya is basically non-separate from the Parmeshwara, because that's a power of the Parmeshwara. And through the power can never be separate. I have never seen power separate. Otherwise, I can send, whenever I don't want to take a class, I can send my speaking power to all the people. And they will separate from me, if it is separate from me, and you will be able to enjoy it, right? But the speaking power can never be separate from the speaker, the conscious entity. And therefore Maya also is a power, Parmeshwara's power, and through that power he creates. Otherwise he cannot create. If I am a conscious entity, but I am a speaker right now, doing something, generating something, illumining something, imparting knowledge, all this I can do if I have a power of speaking. And so through power only anything happens. Through power, the Brahman is called creator. Through power, he is a sustainer. Through power, he is a destroyer. Brahman otherwise does not do anything. He is incapable of doing anything. But therefore, through the power. Anyway, so Ishvara also is the owner of this body, this house. And you can say Jiva also is the owner of this body. Ahankara is the owner of the body. So Dehi can be, the indweller of the body could be either way. But right now, let's say Dehi is this Ahankara, and he is also owner, because from his earning, basically he has got this body. Anyway, so Dehi as such is not Vadya. Now I will use this Vadya, Badhya, etc. You should be able to understand. So Vadya means not available for physical destruction, but still we can destroy it. The indweller of the body, or Ahankara, well, we can destroy it through knowledge. And the difference between the two destruction is, in the one destruction, that is a physical destruction, well, you will always have some residue. Residue means that's a conversion from one form to the other form. The residue is another form. That's all it is. When you say I have destroyed bangle, or goldsmith has destroyed bangle, that's correct. He has destroyed bangle, but not the gold he has destroyed. Please understand that very well. It is the form he has destroyed, and now he has converted into a new form called a lump, because he wants to make another form. The lump itself is a form. Anyway, so this is how so the physical destruction, and there's a physical destruction done by goldsmith through the fire. Well, so this is this Ahankara can be destroyed through the knowledge, and because Ahankara is basically born of self-ignorance, the very first child of this Janani called Avidya is generating this Ahankara, born of ignorance, and therefore it is confusion, and therefore it has to be destroyed. It is not available for physical destruction, not through any elements, but it can be destroyed through knowledge. And and therefore, like now Ahankara and this snake, consider that way. And in case of example, well, there is a snake, and the Adhishthanam is basically a rope. Here Ahankara is like a snake, and the Adhishthanam is Atma. And now by knowledge you destroy through illumination of our torch, etc. Well, that's like a knowledge, and you destroyed the sarpa. The sarpa means this snake. So this Rajju Sarpa is basically, this rope snake cannot be destroyed physically, right? Cannot be burnt, cannot be drowned, cannot be cut. I want to destroy it through this sword, etc. You cannot, sir. And therefore Rajju Sarpa, I am not talking about the real Sarpa. The Rajju Sarpa, the rope snake, is not available for physical destruction. Their ahankara is also not available for physical destruction. And then how to destroy this sarpa? Because it is creating fear in me. Okay, then just put a torch on it. That's all. That is enough. So through knowledge it gets destroyed. So when you get a knowledge of a rope, then automatically you come to know that there was no snake, there is no snake, there will not be any snake. This is knowledge, huh? This is knowledge. If you have a knowledge, earlier there was a snake. Now with the help of torch, when I put a torch on it, in the light of the torch, the snake has gone away. Well, then this is not a knowledge. When you say snake has gone away, means it is a real snake. But in the light of this torch, you know what? That there was no snake. There is no snake, there will not be any snake. This is only rope. Now please tell me, what is the residue left after destroying this snake? What is the residue left? From the snake, from the snake. So how many residue left? That is rope. I am talking. You have destroyed the snake. Then what is the residue from the snake left over from the destruction of snake? What? Nothing. And therefore this badaha is another kind of a destruction which does not leave behind any residue. Please understand this example. This is very, very apt example for our ahankara and the atma. There, that is sarpa and rajju. Same way ahankara and atma. Atma is adhishtanam, ahankara is adhyaropa. Here rajju is adhishtanam, sarpa is adhyaropa. And in both cases ignorance is there. There the ignorance of rope, here the ignorance of the self. And from the ignorance of the snake, ignorance, that also is possible. Yeah, ignorance of the snake creates a vision, a superimposition of rope. That's most dangerous. If really there is a snake and you feel that it is just a rope, well, that is more dangerous. So our safe example is this. The rope is a adhishtanam and snake is a superimposition. But anyway, so basically in this there is no residue left over. So that is called badaha. Badaha of what? Destruction of what? Destruction of the snake. And through what? Through knowledge. Vadaha means what? Destruction. Destruction of what kind of a destruction? Physical destruction. And therefore it is through some kind of elements or sword and fire and water, etc. etc. So here in our case of Rajju rope snake example, this is that kind of a bada. Now Bhagavan says this dehi also, this aham, this ahankara also is not available for physical destruction. Physical destruction is possible for physical body, but we have gone beyond it. We are not talking about physical body or deha. We are talking about the dehi, ahankara, and which is nothing but the subtle body. Well, then the subtle body being subtle, well, it is not available. Even though it is made up of basic elements, please understand, even though it is made up of basic elements, but subtle body is not available for destruction, physical destruction, through the gross elements. Understand this. Therefore, there is a difference. Otherwise, you will tell Swamiji, physical body also you say it is destroyed because it is an elemental. And the elements can destroy it, like fire, water, etc. And then the subtle body also is elemental. Yeah, it is elemental. Then this element should destroy it. Yeah, it can destroy it. Suppose it can destroy it, but they are all gross. Gross cannot destroy subtle. Gross cannot destroy subtle. The subtle is the very cause of the gross. Any time a effect can never destroy a cause. Effect can never destroy a cause. A pot can never destroy clay. So pot can never destroy clay. Well, so this is how, anyway, so subtle body is not available for destruction, and that is ahankara is not available for destruction, physical destruction, and therefore now I want to, how I like to destroy this ahankara, which is born of the ignorance, which doesn't allow me to know my real nature, right? The very first superimposition is ahankara, and that takes a shape of real self. That is what if you ask any person who is ignorant, who are you? And the way he describes, all belong to ahankara. All belong to ahankara. 500 pages. If whatever he talks is all ahankara only. And therefore, for an ignorant person, ahankara is the reality, which is actually a superimposition on the self. And therefore, if you want to know your real nature, this ahankara has to be destroyed. And therefore, how will you destroy it? This is through knowledge alone, because it is born of ignorance. What is born of ignorance can only go when knowledge comes. And therefore, physical destruction as such also will not work. And so, badaha only will work. And therefore, this dehi, well, we will say that it goes. I mean, it becomes, it is available for negation. It is available for destruction through knowledge. And then, what will happen? You said nothing will remain after that, because in case of snake, you told already that you came to know. Once you come to know the rope through this torch, etc., then you said you become wise person, and you said there was no snake, there is no snake, and there will not be any snake. This is your knowledge. You laugh also. You laugh also means when there was a snake, when you were believing it as a snake, at that time also it was a rope. Not that the snake has converted to rope. Snake has not gone away from the rope. Snake has not resolved into rope. Nothing, actually speaking. There was no snake to begin with. Abba, that is superimposition. Which was not there to begin with, and you feel all the time it is there. Because of the ignorance, you feel it. That is the reality. Ahankara is the only reality. Jiva is a reality, etc., etc. Or I am Sukhi, Dukhi. You have to consider that way. I am not going to narrate the whole story of Ahankara. It's a very, very big story. Ahankara story is a big story. And therefore, well, basically, so through Bada only it goes. And Bada means nothing will be left out from Ahankara. Like nothing is left out from the snake. One minute. So you see only rope. Now here, after the knowledge occurs, Ahankara goes forever. Yeah, it goes forever. Goes for good. But all the jnanis all the time talk about aham. Yeah, so we will have to see something extra also now. So even though it is there, but it has as though become, it has been negated forever. So it is like, then I have to give you another example. Once you know the adhishtanam as a clay, and you come to know that there is no pot, thoroughly after investigation, still as the pot continues, then but the pot is not there actually, but still it continues. In appearance, the clay now in appearance of a pot continues. In your understanding now, the clay is the only reality, because your ignorance pertaining to the clay has gone now. And earlier you were considering pot is a reality. And now you know the clay is a reality. And therefore pot is negated through knowledge. but the pot continues. Same way, here also, it appearance of the ahankara continues. And so since it has been destroyed through the knowledge, through badhaha, now this ahankara which appears even after the knowledge is called badhita ahankara. It has turned mithya. So, and earlier also it was, I am like, now let's go to further in that example, Rajju Sarpa also. We'll come back to this example again. Now, I told you this, that this is snake when I say, and now I say this is rope. In fact, this is a universal amsha. It can be applied to anything. This is can be applied to anything. And this is that universal amsha which is not available for negation, because at the time of knowledge of the rope also this is there. At the time of error of that snake also this is there. So this is something not available for negation. Means that is the satya amsha. Abaditaha satyam. Because it is not available for negation. But what you put after that, this is available for negation. That is, snake is available for negation. And now this is rope. You say, well, so even when you are saying this is snake, well, this is belongs to the rope alone. And when you say this is snake, at that time also this is belongs to the rope only. And even after the knowledge of the rope, this is again belongs to rope only. So to Sarpa, the snake was not there to begin with. Right? Snake was not there to begin with. In absence of the knowledge of the rope, you have taken the rope as a snake. But in that also there is some satyamsha which was there, which continued. So this is, well, you say that is a satyamsha, that is abaditaha. The snake amsha is baditaha. By knowledge it has gone, and therefore same way here ahankara is like a sarpaha. Now I am ahankara. Swami, but I am, you are telling this I thought is ahankara. Yeah, I thought is ahankara. So, but even then in that also I am as such is a universal amsha. What you put after this I am, whatever word, that belongs to the subtle body. That's how I say it is ahankara. Because when you say ahankara is a part of subtle body, then some attribute of the subtle body you will connect with the I am. And therefore you will always, you say I am hungry, I am thirsty, I am this, I am that, I am depressed, or I am seer, I am thinker, whatever you say. All these are nothing but you are referring yourself as subtle body. The I am continues. That's a abadit amsha, that is universal amsha. Even you also say I am. But then you say I am right now a hearer. The I will say I am speaker. You are also have identified yourself through ignorance. You have identified through the subtle body. You say I am hearer, definitely subtle body. I am speaker, subtle body. Well, then that's a mistake. So I am is a satyamsha, cannot be negated. And that's how everyone has the I am. But what is the difference between the I, your I and my I? Even though it is satyamsha, it is universal, it cannot be negated. I cannot be negated. Try to negate I. Try to negate I. To negate I, you require another I. And to negate that I, you require another I. I am, like this is, like I am is a satyamsha. Please understand this is a prakriya. And so I am is basically a satyamsha. But what you put later, well, that's a problem. Like this is a satyamsha, but instead of rope you put a snake, well, that's a problem. Same way here. I am happy, I am unhappy, I am seer, I am thinker, I am goer, etc. etc. So many things pertaining to the subtle body. But Swamiji, even I am telling I am human body, I am tall. We are not talking right now. We are talking about Dehi. Forget about Deha at all right now. Forget it. That's not, we are talking about the Dehi. Sarvasya Dehe Dehi, indweller. So definitely don't talk about this physical body. We have negated already. Now, so I am, whatever is ahankara, you are still identifying with the subtle body as an indweller. And that is a confusion. And therefore, when you know there is some torchlight, thrown by this teacher, so from the Shastra, then you know yourself that you are just a adhishtan of even ahankara. How will I know, Swamiji? See, ahankara is basically, we have seen that prakriya. That prakriya is called avasthatraya sakshi. Avasthatraya sakshi means what? A witness of the three states of experience. And in that I am a waker, etc. Right? Waker means definitely, but Swamiji, waker means physical body will come. Okay, forget about it. But basically, if you remember, I have told you one thing, that a waker or a dreamer or a deep sleeper, they are the states of basically mind. Mind. When mind is fully awake, then definitely you identified with the physical body. But basically it's a state of a mind. Dreaming also is a state of a mind. And deep sleep state also is a state of a mind. Means it is resolved. So states of mind basically. And when mind resolves, that is, you definitely don't have identification with the gross body also. That's how when mind resolves, you don't identify physical body, even subtle body, etc. in a deep sleep state. But in other two states, it is a state of mind. And the mind is half awake. It is a dream state. Mind is fully awake, waking state. Right? And therefore, so physical body identification is there, but through the completely wake up mind. And therefore, basically it is a state of all ahankara. Because ahankara is a part of the subtle body, and this states also is a part of the subtle body of the mind. And therefore, this ahankara, well, it is when they say I am waker and experiencing the waking world through the identifying with the physical body. It has to identify with the physical body to experience the physical world. Anyway, and then it identifies with the dream body, etc. and experience the dream world, and then it identifies with the subtle body. It resolves into a deep sleep state, etc. And well, even if you say ahankara, it is a very rudimentary, we have talked about. So this ahankara as a waker, dreamer and deep sleeper are there. And waker is not dreamer, dreamer is not sleeper, sleeper is not waker. Well, then ahankara also comes and goes. That is not the reality of me. Well, then if I am a waker in reality, I am ahankara as such, then I cannot be the dreamer. Because waker is not present in the dreamer. Waker is not present in the dream state. It's a dreamer is present in a dream state. And well, both this waker and dreamer are not present in the deep sleep state. The sleeper is there in a deep sleep state. And it's very, very, very evident, very clear also. The attributes of waker are different. Attributes of the dreamer are different. Attributes of the deep sleeper are different. You know very well. The waker is one who has identified with this physical body completely. He wakes up to the physical body, let's say. In a dream state, he identifies with the only mind. And even the dreamer is nothing but just a part of the mind. Anyway, what I am saying is, waker, dreamer and deep sleeper, well, all the three are a different types of experiencers or ahankaras. But my experience tells that I am invariably present in all the three states. Then I am not ahankara. I am not waker. Waker is conscious entity. Therefore, it is definitely, waker is non-separate from I, the Sakshi consciousness. Dreamer is a conscious entity, definitely, because it's an experiencer. Experiencer has to be a conscious entity in order to experience. And therefore, even the dreamer is consciousness, the witness, which is present in that state also. And deep sleeper also is a conscious being, present in the deep sleep state also. Well, but definitely, I who is invariably present in all I am not the waker, I am not the dreamer, I am not the deep sleeper. Even though all the three are me, but I am not them, because I know myself as invariably present in all the three states. And therefore I must be distinct from even ahankara. Who is that distinct entity? Well, you know the ahankaras or the waker and everything, waking state as such, without any means of knowledge. As a consciousness, by merely your presence, all these three states of experience take place. That's how dream consciousness, waking consciousness, or deep sleep consciousness, even you are saying waker is not there in the dreamer, etc. And therefore, basically the consciousness is a witness of all the three states. And in all the three states, even ahankara as an experiencer, or what is an object of experience, everything. As a waker and waking objects, I am the witness consciousness. Is called Sakshi. Sakshat ikshate iti Sakshi. Sakshat ikshate. One which experiences, knows, or sees directly. Directly means what? Without any means of knowledge. Any means of knowledge. And therefore, basically, waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper, well, all the three are non-separate from me. I am the witness consciousness which is invariably present in all the three types of ahankara and also present in the objects of experience also. And therefore, I am just a witness consciousness which I know without any means of knowledge directly all the three. Right? So, waker is not present in dreamer, is the moment, when I am saying like that waker is not present in a dream state, dreamer is not present in a deep sleep state, how can I talk about it? Because it's your experience. It's your own experience that it is not present. If waker is present in a deep sleep state, then where is a deep sleep state? If waker is present, who is a waker? Whose mind is fully awake. If mind is fully awake, where is the deep sleep state? Where is the deep sleep state? And as a waker, you know that you are conscious of the world, you are conscious of yourself fully, and in a deep sleep state, the ahankara, the deep sleeper, is not conscious of himself, not conscious of time, place, not conscious of the world. So it's a different type of experiencer. And therefore, basically, I'm able to talk about these ahankaras also, shows I'm invariably present in all the three as a witness. I don't need any means of knowledge, even to know that all the three are just a superimposition upon me. So sakshat ikshate iti sakshi, I directly know them, being invariably present in them, definitely. Otherwise, how will I know? So I must be present there. To experience something, you should be present at the site. And therefore, that is why. So waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper. Well, on that avastha, as such, total, waker and waking state, dreamer and dream state, etc. Well, I am just a witness. Avasthatraya sakshi. But basically in avasthatraya sakshi, forget about other things. Just a sakshi of a ahankara. When you are a sakshi of a ahankara, when you know the ahankara directly means no means of knowledge. No means of knowledge. And so earlier I was telling, I am ahankara, I am waker, I am dreamer, I am deep sleeper. Well, now same I am cannot be negated. I am cannot be negated. When as a waker also I was a conscious entity, as a dreamer I am a conscious entity, as a deep sleeper also I am a conscious entity. So that conscious entity, I am a conscious being, continues. Even before this, even before the ahankara arises, that is called consciousness. When identified with the ahankara, I call it I am a conscious being, individual, but basically I am a consciousness invariably present in all the ahankaras of all the three states of experiences. And therefore, I don't need any means of knowledge. Being consciousness, I am self-evident, and everything, even including ahankara, are evident to myself, evident to me. They are evident to me, and therefore I am sakshi of all the three. Sakshi means what? Which sakshi? Consciousness sakshi. Witness consciousness. You can call witness. Don't say witness, witness. That's otherwise you will try to create a state of your mind of witnessing. Don't think that. By your nature, you are a witness. As a consciousness, you are a witness. As a consciousness, you are witness. Please understand. By your nature, you are witness. You need not have to create by will a state of sakshi. Need not be. You are being consciousness itself. You are witness of all the three ahankaras and all the other things. Anyway, so this is how the same I am, now with the help of this knowledge, through the prakriya called avasthatraya, sakshi knows that I am witness consciousness. Earlier I was saying I am ahankara, I am waker, etc. Now say I am continues. With the knowledge I say I am consciousness, witness consciousness. And therefore I am continues. That cannot be negated, right? Cannot be negated. And as such I am consciousness, well, which is witness of the three ahankaras or three states. Well, that you can very well say when you are saying that this is rope, I mean this is snake, at that time also it was a rope. This because this is indicating the rope, and therefore at that time also it was a rope. Once and when you are putting a torch on it, you are saying this is rope, and it will be rope also. So this was a rope, this is rope, and this will be rope only. So there it was never a sarpa, and therefore ahankara also is like that. Whenever you say I am ahankara, etc., means I am hungry, I am thirsty, I am seer, I am etc., etc. This I am conscious being that you cannot replace. You cannot replace. The seer itself is not possible without a consciousness. The hearer is not possible without a consciousness. However, you say I am hungry. The hunger is not possible without hunger consciousness. And therefore the consciousness is right there, which cannot be negated even before this ahankara can arise. Well, anyway, so this ahankara is just a superimposition, like on the rope, which is a substratum, the snake is superimposed due to the ignorance of the rope. And same way, the I am just a witness consciousness on which this adhyaropa of a waker, dreamer and deep sleeper takes place. Here the waker also means a waker consciousness, right? I am a waker right now, or I am a dreamer, etc. Well, that's why I am a consciousness that doesn't go. So definitely I am consciousness is something which is satyam, which is abadhyam. Ahankara is something which is baditam. They are available for negation, and they should be negated. And then once, because of the ahankara, you were feeling the limitation, you were feeling the location. Everyone has the awareness of a location right now. You say, I am right now, Swamiji, here. So because the subtle body is inside the gross body, and so definitely you say that I am inside. Identifying with the subtle body, you say I am inside, indweller of the body, etc. Well, so if you give up this identification with the ahankara, which is purely notional, there is no identification between consciousness and the subtle body. Well, and then through the knowledge you know, but that you are not ahankara, you are not this subtle body, etc. Well, then what is your dimension? What is your location? So you become an indweller of all the bodies, not indweller of this body. Once you give up the identification with one subtle body, which is present in this body, gross body, then definitely as a consciousness, you are pervading, or you are indweller of all the bodies. Then also the same Dehi, the indweller of the body, called ahankara, in the state of ignorance. I mean, when the ignorance is there. Now, with the help of knowledge, same Dehi means that the indweller of the body is nothing but, in the wake of knowledge, it is nothing but all-pervading consciousness, pervading all the bhutas, sarva bhutatma bhutatma. Because you are saying you are in this body because of identifying with the one subtle body. Well, the subtle body is subtle body, and I am just a consciousness, witness consciousness. I am not even ahankara. Subtle body and ahankara, I am taking it interchangeably. It's a synonymous right now. So anyway, so this is a way one comes to know oneself. And then, but who knows the witness? Well, this is how the one who is confused knows that he is a witness. So I am continues. Please understand that. This is continuous even when you know that it is rope. This is continuous. This is cannot be negated. The snake is the snake part is negated. That is bada, and you now know it as a rope. Same way I am continuous. But now in wake of knowledge you say I am witness consciousness of all the three states or all ahankara, waker. I am a witness of waker, I am witness of a dreamer, I am witness of they come and go on me. They are superimposed on me. Please understand this. Because you yourself tell I am invariably present in all the three states. Then that I is not ahankara, because ahankara is basically limited to a particular state. A waker is limited to waking state. Dreamer is limited to dream state. And so I, the waker, dreamer, etc., they are just my vesha. They are different types of clothes I am wearing in order to experience different things. So and therefore, but I, the one who wears the clothes, is entirely different from the ahankara. So the same I, now I am, consciousness continues. Other than that, what you were earlier you were saying in 500 pages, you are dropping. Because all belong to ahankara. This is how it is. And never think, earlier I was ahankara and now I am consciousness. When you are saying you are ahankara, you were consciousness alone. You are Brahman alone. Same way when you are saying this is snake, rope has not turned to snake, or snake has gone and rope has come. No. It was a rope only. It is rope and it will be rope. Same way I am, whenever I am Sukhi, Dukhi, I am Seer, etc. It is just a superimposition either of a waking state, of a waker, seer, etc. in a waking state, or seer and smeller, etc. in a dream state, or no seeing, etc. or just experiencing ignorance, etc. in a deep sleep state. Whatever you say, as an experiencer, as ahankara, you may say anything. Anything you can say, no problem, because it is your experience. But the one who is invariably present in all the three states is just a consciousness. And that consciousness I was before also. But because of self-ignorance, that I am just a consciousness, I was claiming the ahankara as the self. And now I gave up that. That's all. Then what will happen to them? They will continue. But they don't have a reality. For a self-ignorant person, ahankara is the reality. When he writes about 500 pages about himself, for him it is a reality. He is not telling you after at the end of everything, at the last page, that, well, I am, whatever I have told in 500 pages is just a mithya thing. That's not real I. Real I is I am consciousness. Nobody tells it. Could you follow? Nobody tells it. For him it's a reality only. I am jiva, I am individual, and I am seer, thinker, etc. All this, hunger, whatever. All this is reality for him. Right? And so same I am comes to know as a witness consciousness, invariably present in as a waker, etc. They are non-separate from me, as well as present in the waking state. All the experience takes place ultimately because of consciousness. Understand? Ultimately, all experience takes place because of consciousness. Right? Waker is a conscious entity. The consciousness borrowed from the I, the self, and that's how they appear as a conscious. And then they experience the waking world. But ultimately, the consciousness I alone is the source of all the experiences. So entire waking state experience, I am a witness, you can tell, or of the witness of the ahankara, you can tell. It's the same thing. But ahankara is better because ultimately ahankara is a reality for everyone. Individuality is a reality, or jiva is a reality for everyone. And therefore, now you know that you are not a jiva. Earlier also you were not jiva, but because of ignorance you are telling as you are yourself as a jiva. Now, basically, you have dropped the notion. That's all. Dropping the notion, you have become one with Brahman. So, Avastharatara Sakshi also will make you realize your real nature, that is, you are Brahman. So, Don't think after doing prakriya, I and Brahman becomes one. Only I have dropped the notion that I am different from Brahman. Well, the notion I have dropped because something else I have taken it as a Brahman. And that is myself. Ahankara I have taken as myself and feeling limitations, etc. Well, I have dropped it and therefore I am claiming now that I am just consciousness, invariably present in all three states. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.